Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital Exclusive Analysis. In today's video, discussing natural gas. Looking at the daily chart, nat gas overall had a pretty solid week, but it did have a down day today, closing down 1.98%. And that was simply because we came up into a first major pivot resistance point back here on Friday, the 31st of May. So clearly see this resistance is now seeing some sellers, and granted, it's been a stellar move off of the low here from 205 all the way into that 256 level. So very, very impressive to see natural gas. Now the question is, how deep do we go? Obviously the bulls want to maintain this kind of little price structure. Now if you use this as your support zone, as long as you chop, say, in this range here and then look to make another move higher, that pattern would be okay. Obviously if you're going to be a little bit more conservative with the trade, how I would play it is simply waiting for a retest to get long if we say flush back into here. Now there's obviously support levels to play, but natural gas is trying an attempt to break out. I did think that we were going to get a successful breakout. We were calling for this inverse head and shoulders move, and basically we've had a successful trade. Nevertheless, I think that there's likely going to be another opportunity to maybe play it to this 294 area in the near term. We have to watch it closely. So again, support 1, support 2, you really don't want to break this upsloping trend, because then that could send you right back down to a new lower low and somewhere, sub 150, which would be a pretty dangerous and very interesting long-term price. It would kind of be a gift, honestly, if it were to go down there, but we're still in the longer term trend, putting in some lower weekly highs here. We haven't really taken out the high, so you can see since nat gas has rolled over, this was your first high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and this potentially, we do not want the bulls to make this, we don't want the bears to make it another lower high. So if that does occur, then I do think that nat gas can go lower, but for now we're looking pretty solid on the daily chart, and I do think that this pattern is going to try to firm up here. Let's just throw in some of the key moving averages, the 50 and the 2. So remember, I discussed this key moving average crossover where the 50 in purple and the blue is the 200 moving average. When you get that death cross, typically that signals a little bit of a near-term buy opportunity. I mean, look at that. You got the death cross, and then one day later it was pretty much just upside in a straight line. So nice stellar move for natural gas. Let's look at some of these equities that trade around nat gas. Still very, very oversold in comparison to where the market is trading. And look at this in equity. Obviously, energy stocks have been under pressure in XLE. There's been really no tailwind from XLE since oil's been in a pretty fast decline. But nevertheless, look at AR. I mean, if it can recapture this channel, then you know what that means. As long as you recapture this channel, you can go right back to the highs. That would obviously deduce that nat gas is likely going to continue to firm up here. EQT is another one here. EQT trying to get above its 50-day, but not really doing it successfully. If we look at this little bit of a downtrend that it is trying to break, you can clearly see that there is even a potential for maybe an inverse head and shoulders. So we're going to watch that pattern on EQT, but it is at the top of the range, and we need to really see it firm up here, because if it does, if it breaks out of this potential inverse head and shoulders, we're looking at about a 20% move to the upside from this zone, which would put us, just under 40 bucks on EQT, and that likely could mean, right, if that pattern were to trigger, it likely means nat gas is probably pushing for this 292 area. So let's see what opportunities lie over the next few days and what type of consolidation we get. So far, very, very good week. If we look at that weekly chart, getting a close back above the weekly 50 MA. Nice 3-bar surge. We just need a little bit of time and rest, in my opinion. Take care, everybody. Hopefully this analysis helped. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on the charts a little bit later.